bro, are you even keto? If you've been following the latest nutrition trends, you might have seen that keto is everywhere now. Everyone's talking about keto. Get ripped in 6 weeks with keto. Is that even true? Well, I'm here to actually make this video to tell you, yes, it's true, it's possible. Keto is an amazing diet for getting absolutely shredded, for having amazing energy. All of the benefits that you've heard about keto is all true. However, and a big however, and a reason why I'm doing this video, I've wanted to do this video for a very long time. A lot of people are talking about doing keto, but a lot of people just simply don't have the macros down in order to even be keto. I'm gonna do this video just to explain very briefly about what it actually means to be keto. To understand if keto is right for you, let's begin by talking about what keto is and what keto is not. I'm not gonna take much time in this video to explain where keto came from. I will definitely do a series on keto for the month of September, so do subscribe to my channel so you can stay tuned for that series. Keto is a style of eating. Keto is a commitment to that style. Keto is not a diet, not a temporary fix. When you think about diet in terms of your dietary intake, your meals for the day, as opposed to dieting and cutting calories, keto is not a temporary thing. Keto is low carbohydrate, but keto is not only low carbohydrate. Keto also has to be moderate protein. So without getting too detailed about the science of keto, you're simply not keto just because you go low carb, higher fat. You also need to make sure that you're moderate to lower on the protein range as well. The whole concept about keto is that we want our body to produce ketones, which mobilize the fat for energy within our body. In order for this to happen, we need to address the 3 fuel sources that our body is able to draw from. The number 1 fuel source that our body wants is carbohydrates. Our body, our brain wants to run on carbs. When you reduce carbohydrates, your body is then going to turn to protein to try to put that into a source that it can use for fuel. Now, we don't want this. We want to preserve the protein within our body. So this is not an ideal source of fuel. The whole point of being keto is that your body can tap into fat for energy. That's where the 3rd fuel substrate comes into play. If we've kept protein low enough and we've gotten plenty of fat, rather a majority of our dietary macronutrients comes from fat, our body is then going to be able to start to utilize fat as a fuel source, which means that our brains can run off of this fat as well. Again, you're not just keto just because you've been following low carb, higher fat, high protein. The surest way for you to be able to tell if your body is in a state of ketosis, if your body is producing enough ketones that you know you're utilizing fat for fuel, are to pee on the sticks, ketone sticks. I got mine off of Amazon. That will give you a rating to show you, is your body actually in ketosis? And if so, how many ketones are coming out in your urine? Without knowing this, yes, you can simply continue to do what you've been doing, which is fine. It's no big deal. It just means that your body is burning protein for fuel. Protein meaning tissues within your body, meaning your body is not repairing and recovering properly. Your muscle tissue is not repairing and recovering because that protein is going to fuel your body, to fuel your workouts, to fuel your brain, to fuel your everyday. I'm not telling you that you're wrong if that's what you've been doing, but the whole point of keto is to get your body burning fat for fuel. We want to look at the process it takes in order to get there, in order to get your body burning fat for fuel. Number 1 consideration, you have to have your macronutrients in place. So you have to follow a very specific macronutrient profile in order to become keto. What that means is that when you look at your protein, carbs, and fat intake, your fat needs to far outweigh everything else that you're taking in. So an example of keto macros would be 75% fat, 20% protein, rest in carbohydrates, like 5%. If that seems low, if it seems crazy, this is why keto works, because those types of ratios are going to encourage your body to tap into fat as fuel because you have an abundance of it. Now, will everybody be within the same macronutrient range? No, definitely not. Some people do better with a certain amount of carbs. I know people who have 100 grams of carbs a day and can still maintain ketosis. It all depends on how your body specifically responds. But the only way you're going to know is if you set yourself up for a very specific keto macro protocol and then start playing with things later. Now, the second thing to consider about becoming keto is there is an adjustment period that your body is going to go through. So while your body is transitioning from being carbohydrate fueled or protein fueled to being fat fueled, there are going to be a few symptoms that you might not be super comfortable with. They don't call this the keto flu for nothing. You might experience flu-like symptoms. You might experience a little bit of drip in the back of the throat. Me personally, when I'm getting into ketosis, I get really foggy headed, foggy brain. It's hard to think straight. You might be tired all the time. You might be lethargic. It depends on how dependent you are on carbohydrates for energy. If you're doing something like 300 grams of carbs on an average day or a normal day, it might be a little more difficult to adjust to the keto macros. Or you might have no problem at all. The longer that I've been able to maintain low carbohydrates just on a regular basis, the easier it is for me now to enter back into a state of ketosis. But keep in mind, this is why keto is a commitment and not just a diet. Certain things can take you out of this state of ketosis, which just simply means that you have to manipulate your macros a little bit just to get back in. So if you've been keto for maybe a month, you've definitely been producing ketones at a moderate to higher level according to the P test, and you go out and you have like 5 pieces of pizza, you're very likely going to come out of ketosis, but the re-entry might be a little bit easier. But this is also why keto is a commitment, because you don't always want to risk that you're going to have to readjust every time you have a craving for carbs. Just be real with yourself. Is keto something that you're willing to commit to? Is it too much work? It really, really works, and it has phenomenal results. I myself, if you take a look at the video that I posted up earlier about the binging, I am not in a state of ketosis at the moment. In order to get back into ketosis, the majority of each meal needs to be consistent with being highest in fat, moderate protein, low carbs. At the end of the day, it's all gonna work out, but the only way to know for sure is to track. I'm a huge advocate for keto. I absolutely love it. I've been doing it since 2012 combined with intermittent fasting. I've been off of keto now for a while, and I'm just now getting back into entering ketosis. So I personally use it for body composition reasons, as well as my number one reason I use it is because I have an inflammatory eye disease. And with keto, I personally have been able to stay off of the immunomodulatory therapy, just like little mild forms of chemo that I've been on for my eye condition for 2 years now. I've been off of medication. So I'm a huge believer in what it does for the body, and energy wise, I never felt better when I was on keto. So I'm definitely going back to it. And I just want to inform, if you've been thinking about doing keto, really some of the things to consider that it takes on the front end and what you can expect, you know, as you're kind of going down the road. But I will definitely do more videos like this. Like I said, subscribe to my channel if you want to follow the series that I'm going to be putting out in September. Is 1 video a week specifically dedicated to keto, to being keto, to eating keto, to foods to choose, to how to actually enter into ketosis. And I will also be taking you along on my journey, because I've been seeing a ton of stuff out there about keto, and a lot of people, so many people telling me that they're doing keto, but they don't know what their body is actually using for fuel. So it's something to consider if you've been wanting to do keto or trying to do keto. It's amazing, but there is work involved. So stay tuned. As always, I thank you so much for watching.